Let me ask you something. Have you ever told yourself, I'll start saving when I make more money? Or maybe you're like this guy right here, and when you look in the wallet, there's nothing there. That mindset is keeping you stuck because the truth is, savings is a habit, not a paycheck level. See, you don't need a promotion. You don't need another side hustle to start saving. What you actually need is a plan, a mindset shift, and just a simple system to get started. Let me show you exactly how to save money, even if you feel broke right now and kind of hopeless. Proverbs 21:20 says this: the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but the fools gulp theirs down. That verse reminds us savings is not a luxury, it's actually a biblical act of wisdom. And wisdom says, prepare in peace so you don't panic in a crisis. See, it's not about how much you have. It's actually about learning to store instead of spending everything you touch. And yes, that does mean when you get your paycheck on Friday or whatever day that is, that you do take a little portion of that out and put in your savings and invest toward your future. That way, you will begin to start saving and not just spend everything. See, when you save, you're creating margin, space between your life and actually the next emergency that comes. And that space protects you and gives you peace. See, it'll allow you to lay your head down at night when you go to bed, close your eyes and fall asleep and not have to worry about what's coming tomorrow. Let's simplify this goal. Think of savings in three levels. Now, with any good plan, we have to set measurable goals, right? Level one, starter emergency fund. In this level, what we want to do is target saving $250 to $1,000. Whoa, $1,000, Chad, how is that? There is no way that I could hear these thoughts coming through the screen in your mind right now, like this is impossible. I assure you this is possible. Many people have done it, and I'm going to show you the exact steps that you'll be able to do it too, and probably faster than what you expected. So, but first, I want to explain to you why you need an emergency fund and what the actual purpose of it is. Your emergency fund is that fund set aside when emergencies happen, like a car accident, car breaks down, have to go to the hospital, all those different things, right? Having that money set aside when those happen, that cash set aside, gives you a buffer to pay those emergencies off without having to get out the credit card, swipe it, go further in debt, and then have to worry about paying that bill. That's the purpose of the emergency fund and why it's so important that we get this set in place first before anything else. See, and another thing I want to advise you to do for this is store this in a separate account. Not the same checking account, but an actual separate savings account that is not linked to your checking account or your debit card at least, right? Because what we don't want to happen, and I've done this, I've been guilty of this, and you might have to, you put money in savings, and then when you're out on a Friday night or something and you're short like $20 when you're going to the movies, you say, you know what, I'll just transfer that $20 from my checking to my savings account and I'll pay it back later, but right now I'm going to go have fun with it. The reality is we don't usually pay that $20 back and we just rob from our emergency fund. So what we want to do is create a buffer, a barrier between the two so it's not easy to do this. Because after all, this is your emergency fund, level two, short-term security. The goal in this level is to save 1 to 3 months worth of core expenses. That would be rent, food, utilities, your survival number, right? What you need to pay all of your bills off for 1 to 3 months. Obviously, 3 months is better than the one, but let's start with one and work our way up to three. This actually gives you the stability of income if it stops, like job loss, an injury, a birth of a child. This gives you a real buffer. If something would happen, say you lost your job, this would give you some time to breathe, to regroup, to put a plan together, what you're going to do next, get your resume built back up, all those different things. That's why we want to really get to a 3-month buffer, and then in the future, work up to 6 months. Level three, growth and legacy. See, in this level, this is your long term savings for investing, giving, and the future, and opportunities that are going to come your way, like maybe business opportunities. It grows slowly, but with intention, this will start to begin bigger and bigger and bigger. But don't feel pressure to do all three of these at once. Just start with level one. See, that first $250 will actually shift your mindset. Before we go any further, I do want to answer this one question that always comes up. People always ask me, and it is this: Chad, shouldn't I pay off all my debt first before I save any money? And the answer is no. And the reason why it is no is because if you paid off all your credit card debt right now, which would be amazing, right? If you paid off your credit card debt, but you had zero in savings, what happens when that emergency happens? The first thing you're going to do is take out the credit card that you just paid off and you're going to put the emergency back on that credit card. See, it's not that wise to pay off all your credit card debt but not have any savings. So, at the bare minimum, we want to make sure that you have that emergency fund funded. So, let me give you some practical steps that you could do to begin to save. So, step one, automate it. Even if you feel broke, see, remember, we're building and preparing for the more that is coming. So you don't have to have a bunch of money right now to do this. You're literally setting up a system, building a habit. Have you ever heard stories of people that win the lottery and just like a few years later, you hear that they're broke and you think that is impossible? How can you win millions and millions of dollars and then you have nothing? And they actually file, a lot of them end up filing bankruptcy and they're back to where they started. And you know the reason why that happens? Because number one, they were never taught how to manage money. Number two, they never built up a system for when they received large sums of money, how to spend it, how to save it, how to invest it, how to manage it. I believe that you will receive large sums of money. I'm believing that since you are putting the time in, that you're working, that you're building up these habits, God is going to bless you and He's going to give you more. But we need to build the muscle. We need to get going. We need to build the system. So when that more comes, we know exactly what to do with it. We know what we could save, what we can invest, all those different things. So I want you to be so prepared when this happens, and I can't wait for it to happen to you, that you will be ready. Now, here's the game changer: automate your savings. Okay, what is that? Even if you only put $5 weekly, consistency beats intensity all the time because you're building a habit. Here are three no fluff ways to automate your savings right now. First, use your bank app automatic transfers. So go ahead and log into your bank app. Set up a reoccurring weekly transfer from your checking account to your savings account. Or you could even do some companies that do direct deposit in your bank account, let you deposit into two different accounts. Maybe have some of your paycheck put right into your savings. That's another way to do it also. Start with just $5 or $10 on a payday, whatever you're comfortable with. Just start with something. That's the most important thing. Another thing that you could do is actually nickname your savings account like Peace Fund, Emergency Fund, something that you could see visual that kind of reminds you why you're doing it. And then the next thing is try some automated savings app. These apps like round up everyday purchases or move small amounts for you that you don't even notice. And let me give you a couple of these apps. So Acorn rounds up your purchases and then it invests the change, right? Chime is another app that automatically moves 10% of your paycheck into savings. Capital lets you set savings rules like save $1 every time I buy a coffee or something like that. Skip a Starbucks. These are just some things that you could do, but pick one and start. Hey, don't wait until you feel ready. Let the system do the savings for you. Make this an automation so you don't even have to think about it. Step number 2, cut and redirect one thing. Okay, if you feel like there's nothing to save, try this. Cut just one non-essential expense this week. Here are some easy ideas. Pause Netflix or a second streaming service this month. That could come out to $15 a month easy. Maybe skip one takeout meal. That could be $12 to $20 a week. Which, if think about this, if you were just to cut one of those takeout meals, one trip to the fast food restaurant a week for 52 weeks, that could be almost $780 in savings. That's amazing. Another huge one for a lot of people is look, brew your coffee at home before you go to work. That could save you $10, $20 a week alone. Right there could be your beginning savings for the week. Another thing you could do is turn off auto renew for apps that you forgot about. Cancel unused subscriptions. You could use like Rocket Money or Truebill that will help you do this. Now, take that extra money and move it into your savings immediately. Don't go spend it. See, if you cut $25 this week, you just funded 5 weeks of $5. See what I mean when I told you earlier? If we just cut out these little things, that $5 begins to grow and it's a lot easier than you think, right? Step 3, set a 30-day visual goal. I love this one. Goals without a finish line, they just don't get finished. So here's your third step. Let's set a 30-day savings goal. Make it clear. For example, save $100 by the 30th. Use a visual printed tracker or thermometer app, something that you could see. Make it measurable, track every deposit. You could even use our 30-day free savings challenge tracker. I'm linking it below in the descriptions. Put it on your refrigerator, in your planner, on your wall. Put it somewhere that you're seeing it. That way it reminds you why you're doing this. Seeing your savings grow little by little builds real momentum and it really keeps you going. Let me tell you something. You are not too broke to save, and you are way too powerful to keep waiting. God's word says, "He who is faithful with a little will be faithful with much." So be faithful just to $5, your discipline and the habit you're building. This is how financial freedom starts, not with some crazy breakthrough, but with just plain and simple obedience. And I want you to do something. I want you to join our Seeds program today. It's free. And also download below our 30-day savings tracker to help you keep on track for your 30-day personal savings challenge. And make sure you don't miss our next video. Multiply what's in your hands. Wealth building starts small. Make sure to like and subscribe to our videos and drop a comment below. What's one thing you're cutting out or automating this week? Let's grow together, and I will see you next time.